Okay, dear students, let's continue on with the new set of questions, though many of them will overlap each other. But this has been on the request of all the other students, and these are going to cover certain aspects which are questioned during your SSB interview. So run your mind. I'm going to teach you the logic. I'm going to guide you what should be your principle of thinking and what should be the modus operandi of your thinking so that you can do well. And let's go ahead with this. Now, this motivation and inspiration is only a section because these are a set of questions having these kind of attitudes. So here we go. Let's start. What inspired you to join the armed forces? Now, this is something which generally comes from a normal question because they want to see your deeper motivation. They want to see the inner motivation in you. You know, practically anything which you are selecting, particularly as a career, is going to be also very importantly as a breadwinner for yourself. You want to earn your life, right? You don't want to become dependent on your parents. So you have to choose a career. Now, why do you choose a career of engineer or a doctor or army officer or others? There are n number of factors which affect it. One, of course, is earning your living. The other, of course, is what should I say, the style of living. There may be also be the environment of living. It can also be the kind of activity you will be doing, the kind of travel you will be doing. Now, there are some people who love to join marketing because they get a lot to travel, they love to meet people and they love to enjoy that. Yes. So that also people do have a habit. So they join marketing profession. Some people they want to stay in one place. So they'll pick up production department. So they are there in that factory where production is taking place and they like to stay put there. There are some people who like blend of everything in life. Like in armed forces, you have a blend of life. You have a blend of extracurricular activities. You have a blend of games. You have a blend of responsibilities. You have a blend of hobbies. You have a blend of traveling different places. So this is there. There are some people who are also inspired by people's personality and the kind of experiences they have. There are sometimes a blend because of many of you who are from the Navy or the Air Force who have already given some n number of years and you want to now go for the further promotion because you enjoy the organization, but you want to go for further promotion. That can be one of the reasons. Of course, the inspiration is when you see good examples, you get inspired. It's human nature. Ambition is always healthy, provided it does not become over ambitious. When you become over ambitious, what really happens? It becomes unhealthy. But when you're ambitious, it remains healthy. So that's exactly what it should be there. It's nothing wrong to utilize our life positively for some better things. You are not a dead person sitting or lying dead, but you are active person. So when you are in energy, you'd like to do something which makes you more happy, more richer, more knowledgeable, evolve yourself into a personality. So if you have inspirations, you must have heard people these days. YouTube is also a great place to learn, where you learn a lot of about exposures about Sam Manick shows. You learn the way of talking, you learn the way of interacting, because you have to spend a good healthy 30 years of your life so that you not only earn your living but also consolidate your future. So that can be one of the ways. That inspiration can come from one-to-one interaction. Sometimes in a college, you come across an officer who comes over and you get inspired by that officer and you learn a lot of things. Many of the girls, while traveling in the train, they met people and then they came to know about it and they got inspired and then they applied and they got selected. There are many people whose brothers and sisters are working in the different organization and they get inspired after the brothers and all get selected because they get an exposure into the organization and thereafter they feel, why not? This is a beautiful place. And why do you get inspired? You not only get inspired by those examples, but also about the end product, what you're going to receive. So this is all part of inspiration. So you can write that. Is it clear? So I hope you will have good amount of answers for this. That can be your... Now, somebody talking about movies where a martyr has inspired you, it looks too dramatic. I mean, it looks too dramatic that you say that I want to give my life for the nation. Well, we don't want your life. We want your heroic activity. We want your constructive working. We want your, we want you to work as a person. We want you to impress as a leader. We want you to protect the country. We want you to work as a team leader to make sure that your country works. We don't want your heroic activity to die. If somebody has all these answers, please cut down the dramatism. Try to be very simple, logical. It should be career. It should be other experiences. And I'm sure today in the website age, you must have explored the websites and picked up a lot of things from there. So you can do that. Now, some people say, I don't want to study. I want to run around. No organization has it. This organization also will make you study. So don't do all that silly answers. And if you say that I want a blend of everything, like a little study, little games, little activities, this is understood. This is understood because that is exactly what is going to happen. But if you say, I don't want to study anymore, so I want to join this, no, this is not going to work. Right? So your answer has to be sensible. Explore your mind, write it down 2-3 times. You yourself will be able to check up whether you are writing sense, and write short but good points. At least 4-5 points can be wonderful for this answer. Is it clear? So this question is clear. It's important. So I'm discussing everything in detail so that you guys can improve yourself. Now we go down to who's your role model and why. Now in this, again, this is an inspiration. And most of the people who have good readings, who study a lot of books, they pick up role models from outside also. I was very attracted towards English speaking and become a good orator. Still a lot to improve, but still I got inspired by one person who had died years before me, but is well known even today, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. That was the 36th President of the United States of America, who was supposed to be an excellent speaker. I used to be very inspired that his speaking was good, his book were good, his thoughts were well received. I think that was a source of inspiration for me. So, what was the impact of that inspiration? That even in my early classes, I was a good English speaker. Not excellent, but good. And I was inspired to do more. Similarly, if you have been having a role model, certain amount of symptoms must have walked into you. Suppose you have been inspired by a father on some points, you must have picked up those qualities. After all, we are evolving people. We love to catch up things. We go to a 5-star hotel and we see the organizing, we try to learn from there, and then we come and apply it in our home. Human nature. Same thing when you have learned something from your brother, for example, he's there in the Navy or the Air Force or the Army, and you have picked up something, you must have inspired and you must have picked it up. So can be a role model. There may be also people, along with your brother, you must have seen some few good lady officers or good lady or good senior officers or anyone for that matter, and you must have been inspired that I would like to be a person like this. After all, we are monkeys. We learn from each other. Don't you see that people copy trends from the actors and actresses? Why? Because they pick it up as a role model. Success is one of the major reasons, and of course, your inspiration is also one of the major reasons. So you can have role models. If you want to be like Sam Shaw, good speaker, you can say that. You have some broader personality, but now suppose you have a role model which is a sports personality and you want to join the armed forces, and you have a very odd, okay, if the sports personality you like for the stamina, it's okay. But if you just like that, I would have loved to be this, then what are you doing here? That is why many of you guys who are working in the Air Force or the Army, they land up writing that there was an IS officer. So if you want to join IS, then why are you looking forward to the promotion in the SSB? To become an officer in the armed forces. So don't talk contradictory, don't write contradictory. Whatever you write is what you think. And if you think like this, you are already on the wrong side. Writing is also communication, speaking is also communication. So if you are writing something which is bizarre, which has got no head and tail, that will be harmful for you. So when they ask you a role model, it should be sensible, it should be relatable to you. Is it clear? I'm sorry for the long answers, but that is very important for all of you to understand, because this exercise which we are doing in the YouTube is to make and reach out to entire nation and to entire set of students who really want to seriously apply for this. And they can open the thought process. After all, in psychology, you are the patient, you are the doctor, you are the student, you are the personality. So remember, if you learn, and learning is forever. Let's go further. Can you tell me about a challenging situation you faced and how you overcame it? Now, this is something they are asking in terms of motivation and inspiration, as the whole session is about. So when you come across a challenging situation, you learn something in life. You learn the importance of determination. You learn the importance of courage. You learn the importance of intelligence. You learn the importance of consistency. You learn the importance of persistence. You learn the importance of hard work. You learn a lot of things. So when you have the challenging situation, you may certainly say that, okay, this is this. Is it clear? Not clear? Got it? So you can tell about a challenging and you faced and how you overcame it. That can be something when you had ill health and you were supposed to give an exam, you can give that example. When you had very less time and you had to organize a very big event with the help of your team, and you worked right day and night in your college to make that thing successful, you can say that. If you ever had a financial crisis at home, you thereafter started teaching and doing something, you can say that. If there was somewhere medical emergency in your home and that time you really did it and how you managed it at that point of time, keeping perspective towards your future, studies, everything, you can say that. So there are many such challenging circumstances you must have come across, and you should not only quote them, but also you should tell what did you learn from it. Like you learned from medical emergency that you got to be patient, cool, calm, but focused towards your final goal. And it happens. Same thing happens with the organization. Same thing happens with any kind of financial situations. I agree, financial situation problem does happen to many people, and we middle class have faced it huge, particularly post-corona. So you can say that. Is it clear to all of you? Okay. So you can say this. I hope you've got an idea. I'm not penning down everything. Yes, for people who are personally coming here and discussing, I'm there for them. But for people who are generally approaching me via the YouTube, you can get an idea, get a guidance, and it will benefit you if you know how to use it rightly. Here we go. Why do you think you have the potential to be an officer in the armed forces? And now this question basically is going to see whether you are overselling yourself, or are you pragmatically clear what armed forces really want and what do you think you can do to adapt to the organization and to the profession. Suppose you say that in the armed forces they require us to be very disciplined. I'm already there and I think I will be able to do that. I have a sense of discipline, self-discipline. I have a sense of self-motivation. I like to do things properly. I like to apply my intelligence. You can say that. And yes, you want to say that I would also further like to evolve myself into a personality of a good kind where I'm not only mentally tough, but I'm also a good example to others and I earn respect of others by my efforts. You can say that. So there are many things which you can say in the potential of an officer. Of course, before this, you should also quote unquote your past learnings also. Like you have been a head boy or a girl and you learned in the school how to really handle and you felt very wonderful about it and you want to multiply this experience into a bigger platform of the armed forces, you can say that. If you feel that having a healthy lifestyle mixed with activities, fun, as well as work and academics and everything and planning and technology, and you feel you can do that here also, you can say that. So you are getting n number of things and you can say that, and I'm sure you will do wonders. So remember, that is very important. You can tell with respect to the OLQs and with respect to you and your past. You can give good answers for the same. So please understand my guidance. See, the problem with this session is that it is going to be detailed, and many of you who are victim of real culture may not read it properly, then there is a problem. But this effort is being made for serious candidates, and if you are serious about your studies, you're welcome. You're going to learn a lot of things, and you're going to learn to explore your mind, because the success lies in your mind and your efforts. I'm just a guide. And more you pick up a guide, you will pick up the logic, you will pick up the common sense, because logic and common sense is going to connect you as a leader forever. Remember that. Now we go down to question number 5. Can you describe a situation where you demonstrated leadership skill? Now I'm sure you became a class monitor or some activity or the other. Even at your home, if you are the elder brother, you must have done many things. Even at home, as a son, you must have done many things. So there are numerous occasions where you must have really demonstrated leadership skills. What is leadership skills all about? Leadership is about courage. Leadership is about planning. Leadership is about organizing. Leadership is about determination. Leadership is about cooperative working. Leadership is about persistent working. Leadership is about keeping hold of your patience till the very last. So there are numerous things you must have done, and you should talk about them and you should prove it. That is what it is all about. So if you do this, I'm sure you're going to do wonderfully well. So you can go back to your history where you learned few things, and 1 or 2 episodes of all this. Always have a backup plan. One thing plus one more, so that you can, if they ask you examples, they ask you situations, citations, you do that. Is it clear? So I'm sure you will be able to do that. So when you had a leadership skills, you had to come forward. There are many times when you, as an expert of knowledge of computers, you had to come forward and really think and plan. That is also leadership. There's so many times when you do class monitorship, other things, organizing festival, sometimes you are made the student committee in charge, or you must have worked in some places like the people who have worked in the Air Force and the Navy. You get so many times to do beautiful leadership when suddenly an officer is not present and you have to take charge, then you do that properly. That's leadership.